It's July 1518 in the city of Strasbourg, and a woman named Frau Trophäa has been dancing for 6 days. No music is playing, no festival is being held. She isn't celebrating anything. She simply walked into the street, began to dance, and now she cannot make herself stop. By the end of the week, she won't be alone. Within a month, as many as 400 people will be dancing alongside her. And before the summer is over, some of them will be dead. This is one of the strangest, best documented mysteries in European history, and 500 years later, we still aren't sure what caused it. Let me show you what we actually know, and why the most likely explanation is more disturbing than any legend. Strasbourg in 1518 was a prosperous city on the Rhine, but the years around it were not kind. Harvests had failed. Bread prices had climbed. Disease, smallpox, syphilis, and a sickness they called the English sweat moved through the poor districts like weather. This matters. Keep the hunger and the fear in mind, because we'll come back to it. When Frau Trophäa began to dance, the chronicles tell us her husband begged her to stop. She couldn't. She danced through the day. She danced into the night, collapsing only when her body gave out. And then hours later, she rose and danced again. Within days, more than 30 people had joined her. Within a month, historical estimates put the number as high as 400. This is not a folktale passed down by word of mouth. We have physician notes, city council records, sermons, multiple independent sources describing the same impossible thing. A crowd of ordinary people dancing until they dropped in a city that desperately wanted them to stop. Here's where it gets strange and revealing. The authorities had to decide what kind of problem this was. Was it a sin, a curse, a disease? The physicians ruled out the supernatural. Their diagnosis, in the medical language of the day, was hot blood, an overheating of the body. And their prescribed cure tells you everything about how little anyone understood what was happening. They decided the dancers should dance more. The theory: let them dance the fever out of their blood. So the city cleared 2 guild halls, hired musicians, even built a wooden stage, and encouraged the afflicted to keep going. It was, predictably, a catastrophe. Surrounding desperate, exhausted people with live music and a stage did not cure them. It fed the thing. More joined. And the dancing that was supposed to burn out instead spread. According to one chronicle, at the peak, as many as 15 people were dying per day from strokes, heart attacks, and sheer exhaustion. The cure had become part of the catastrophe. Eventually, the council reversed course. They banned music. They banned public dancing. And, tellingly, they loaded some of the afflicted into wagons and carried them to a shrine of Saint Vitus to pray for deliverance. By September, the dancing had faded as mysteriously as it began. So what causes hundreds of people to dance themselves to death? There are 3 real theories. 2 are popular. The third is the one most historians now believe, and it's the unsettling one. Theory 1: ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that grows on damp rye, the bread of the poor. It produces compounds chemically related to LSD and can cause convulsions, hallucinations, and a burning sensation in the limbs. It's a tempting answer, but here's the problem. Ergot poisoning typically restricts blood flow to the limbs. It makes coordinated movement harder, not easier. It doesn't make you dance for days. So while ergot may have set the stage, it almost certainly isn't the whole story. Theory 2: a cult or deliberate ritual. Some have suggested a heretical sect dancing on purpose. But the records are clear that the dancers were suffering, begging to stop, dying, not celebrating. This doesn't fit either. Which leaves the explanation most historians now favor, and it's the reason I asked you to remember the hunger. Mass psychogenic illness, sometimes called mass hysteria. Here is the key idea. Under enough fear, grief, and exhaustion, the human mind can produce real, involuntary physical symptoms. And in a tight-knit community, those symptoms can spread from person to person like a contagion. Not through germs, through belief. And crucially, this had happened before in exactly this region. There were earlier outbreaks of compulsive dancing along the Rhine, going back over a century. The people of Strasbourg already knew the story of the dancing curse, the dance of Saint Vitus. They lived in a culture that believed a saint could make you dance as punishment. So picture it, a population starving, sick, terrified, a shared, vivid belief that divine punishment could seize your body and force you to dance. And one woman, pushed past her breaking point, who steps into the street and starts to move. The belief did the rest. It's easy to file this away as medieval superstition, something that could only happen to people who didn't know better. I'd be careful with that, because mass psychogenic illness didn't end in 1518. It's been documented in factories, in schools, in entire towns, in the 20th century and the 21st. The triggers change, the mechanism doesn't. Put enough people under enough stress, inside a shared belief about what's happening to their bodies, and the mind can still write symptoms onto the flesh. The dancers of Strasbourg weren't fools, and they weren't cursed. They were people, hungry, frightened, and human, caught in something we still don't fully understand. They danced because, in some terrible way, they couldn't imagine doing anything else. If you want another true story history left in the footnotes, there's a town in 1962 where the affliction wasn't dancing. It was laughter. And it shut down schools for months. That's next. I'll see you there.